It's another Gettin Real with Ashleydawn, and I'm Ashleydawn. For anyone who is just joining my channel, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe! What are you waiting for? You're missing out on really awesome, really just real stuff, like real life talks, car chats, what have you. There's going to be some other stuff that I'm going to put on my channel too. But this one, I want to talk to you. I'm driving in most of my videos, and it's very important for me when I'm in the middle lane to stay in my lane. If at any time I go over, maybe I'm looking at the car next to me and I go over to my right, I'm going to crash. If at any time I am looking at the car to my left, I'm going to crash, right? If I accidentally go into their lane, I'm going to crash. That's such a picture of our life. God has a lane that He has created us to be in, and we are to stay in our lane. We are not to be staring at somebody else in their lane thinking, wow, I wish I had their car. I wish I was driving, maybe they got a full tank of gas and I don't. Maybe I'm looking at them. Maybe they got a full car of people. Come on, somebody, as Pastor Phil says. Like, maybe there's a husband and a wife and the husband's driving because I'm old-fashioned and I like stuff like that. Maybe you're looking at their car and you're seeing there's kids in the back and you don't have kids and you're struggling. Why do they have kids, God? Why do they have kids? Right? We look at other people all the time. They get a new car and we're like, oh, God, I wanted a new car. They get a new house, we're like, oh, I wanted a new house. They get this and we're like, oh, I want that. God hasn't created us to have those things. God hasn't created us to be them. He's created us to be us. We need to stay in our lane. But so often we focus on everybody else's lane. Well, how fast are they driving? Well, how new is their car? Well, did they just get their tint done? Are they speeding? Are they going too slow? Did they use their directional signal? We're so focused on everybody else, but we're not focused on ourselves. We're not focused on, okay, this lane is ending soon. I need to get out of it. This lane has, something in the road, and I need to make sure that I can switch lanes to get around it. We are meant to be in the lane that God has called us to be in. We're not meant to be in somebody else's lane. So why can't we just be happy with the lane we're in? Why are we so focused on everybody else? Can I tell you why? Because it's in front of us. We wouldn't care about the car next to us, right? If it wasn't next to us. The fact is that we can see it. And because we can see it, we compare ourselves to it. Because of social media, we compare ourselves to that family, to that mom, to that wife, to that husband, to that student, to that boss, to that CEO. We compare ourselves to people because their life is right in front of us, right? What did people do before social media? They had photo albums. And so people would go over to your house and you would bring out the photo albums and you'd brag on, maybe they called it like a little brag book. You'd brag on your grandchildren or brag on your children. Oh, Susie did this and Johnny did this. And I'm saying generic names, but you know what I mean? Like, if we didn't have pictures in front of people, which I'm not knocking pictures. I love pictures. Pictures are my favorite. Anybody that knows me knows that. But if it wasn't in front of us, we wouldn't compare ourselves to it. Magazines. Women have struggled for decades on comparing ourselves to magazines. Why? Because it's in front of us. Because we're looking at it. Movies. We compare ourselves to people in movies. We compare our lives to fictitious stories that are in movies. Why? Because they're in front of us. Do you think that Amish people are comparing their lives to us? No. Do you know why? Because most Amish people don't know what our lives are. They don't have magazines. They don't have Facebook. They don't have TV. They are not constantly bombarded with other people's life in front of their face. Sure, they may compare themselves to, Jed down the row. And that's not meant to be like a mean comment. I seriously mean, I know Amish people that are named Jed that live down the road. But I'm just saying, like, they're not comparing themselves to people because they don't see them. They may compare themselves to the person next to them because they see them, but for the most part, they're not comparing themselves to people because they don't see people. We compare ourselves so much because we see other people's lives. It's on our Instagram, it's on our Snapchat, it's on our social media, and we're the ones to blame because we're the ones that are putting it out there, and we're the ones that are liking it and following it and subscribing to it. Hey, if you subscribe to my channel, first of all, thank you. Second of all, you might be comparing yourself to my life. You might be saying, wow, Ashleydawn dresses really good for a girl that ain't got a whole bunch of money. Yes, I do. I am a bargain shopper. I am a thrift shopper, and I have really awesome friends that spoil me with earrings like this. Thank you, Courtney, and thank you for my headband, Jessica. But you may be comparing yourself to me, and if you are, let me just tell you right now, stop. Do not compare yourself to me. That's a bad idea, because I am not perfect. I am jacked up. That's why I need Jesus. I got a million things wrong with me, and I need help on a daily basis. So do not compare yourself to me. Don't do it. It's not a good choice. But you may be comparing yourself to me. Maybe one of my friends tells me all the time, I wish I had faith like you. And I'm like, why are you comparing your faith to my faith? Don't do it. Do not compare your faith to my faith. Don't compare your life to my life. Do not compare yourself to anybody, including me. Including me. Don't compare yourself. Comparison is a thief. It will steal your time. It'll steal your focus. It'll steal your joy. It'll make you feel that big. It'll make you feel like what you have isn't good enough, that who you are isn't good enough. Do not let comparison jack you up. Don't do it. Instead, appreciate somebody else. Maybe you watch my videos and you're like, Ashleydawn, I love your videos. Great. I encourage you to make your own. I encourage you to use your giftings and abilities for God in whatever creative way that He's, created you to do that. If it's writing or videos or whatever it is, use those for God. I encourage you in that. But don't compare yourself to me. I'm not perfect. Nobody on this spinning place we call Earth is perfect. So comparing ourselves to each other is really stupid. Because none of us are perfect. None of us are like the end all be all, and none of us are the the mode, like the model, or like a cookie cutter. Like, we're not the mold. We're not the standard. All of us have giftings, all of us have abilities, and all of us have shortcomings. If we would just stay in our lane and focus on where we are going. If I try to follow the car next to me, I'm going to end up somewhere I did not plan on being. If I follow a car that's in front of me, I'm going to end up somewhere I did not plan on being. If I follow my GPS that I have set on exactly where I want to go, I'm going to get to my destination in exactly the time that I need to get there. Not soon, not late. But I got to stay in my lane. I cannot be trying to go in other people's lanes, because guess what? That lane wasn't created for me. I'm going to focus on where God wants me to go. I'm going to encourage you on wherever God wants you to go, but I am at no point going to follow you to where you're going. I'm going to where I'm going. God has a different plan for me than He has for you. He's not going to take us the same route. He's not going to take us on the same roads. So how about you stay in your lane, and I'll stay in my lane, and how about we wave at each other as we're driving by? How about we encourage each other? How about if we see each other on the side of the road, we pull over and give each other some gas and encourage each other to keep going? Okay, so for those people that aren't following along with that visually, if you see your friends struggling on the path that God has them on, stop and encourage them. Take time out of your life to encourage them. Let them know they're not alone. That their plan and their purpose that they're walking in, God has a big plan and a big purpose for that. That they're not there for nothing. Encourage them, get back in your car, and keep going on your lane. You're not meant to go where they are, and they're not meant to go where you are. But you are meant to accompany each other on the road. You are meant to encourage each other when you run out of gas. That's what my videos are. I just want to encourage you when you run out of gas, when you're tired, when you're depressed, when you're frustrated, when you're overwhelmed, when you feel all alone, when you feel like giving up, when you feel like you can't take it anymore. I want to encourage you. That's what these videos are for, and I hope they do encourage you. But don't follow my life. Don't try to do everything the way that I do it, because God has created you to do things in a different way. Stay in your lane. Let God lead you and guide you to where He wants you to be. Don't follow my lane. Don't follow your neighbor's lane. Don't follow your friend's lane. Don't follow your parents' lane. Follow the lane that God has created you to follow. You are seen. You are celebrated. You are loved. God's got big plans for you. But you'll never know what those big plans are if you're focusing on everybody else's plans. You'll never know what God has for you if you're constantly looking, well, what is God doing for them? Well, what is God doing for them? Well, why are they running so fast? Why are they getting what I want in half the time that I've been waiting for it? Right? We all do that. I'm guilty of doing it too. Let's focus on our lane and let's let everyone else focus on their lanes. We are not meant to be where somebody else is. And they're not meant to be where we are. They're not. We need to stay in our lane, on the road and in life. I hope this encouraged you. You are loved by me and by God. You do have a plan and a purpose, and it's a big and beautiful one, and you're not alone. I will catch you in my next one. Stay in your lane.